Hello, PAX East. Thank you for coming to the second and final Pillars of Eternity panel by the Obsidian Entertainment and the core development team. We're very excited to announce that the game will be shipping this month in about 3 weeks. So the first question I have is, how many people backed our Kickstarter?
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll start out by letting everyone on the team introduce themselves from right to left.
I'm Chris Avalone. I'm creative director at Obsidian Entertainment, and I work on a game called Pillars of Eternity.
My name's Adam Brennicke. I'm the executive producer and lead programmer.
I'm Tim Kane. I did programming and design on Pillars.
I'm Josh Sawyer. I'm the game director.
I'm Brandon Adler. I'm the lead producer.
I'm Shane DeFries, the marketing director and game show host. We're going to let these guys show you the game.
Cool. So I think most people in here are probably familiar with Pillars of Eternity. It was a Kickstarter project that began in late 2012, and we had 77,000 backers, which was really amazing, and we raised very close to $4 million. We're very appreciative to everyone who has backed the game, who has played our backer beta, given us feedback and support over the past 2.5 years. It's been a long road, but we're very happy to show the game off today. And we're going to be showing a few things. The first thing we're going to be looking at is a little preview of some of the companions in the game, since we haven't really talked about those a lot in detail. And then after that, we're going to jump into the game and show off a few levels that we haven't shown before. But I'm going to be, well, actually, we'll get into it right now. Never mind.
Galloway chose a fitting end for this fine animal. Pardon me, I shouldn't pray with my mouth full.
Okay, this is Horavius, and this is my favorite companion in Pillars of Eternity. I like him because he's written a lot more lighthearted than some of the other companions, and I just think that's more fun. I love how he banters with the other companions. He's also a druid, which I think is one of the best classes we have. If you aren't familiar with our druid, they are capable of healing, but they also have a lot of damage spells, a lot of AoEs, and they are capable of doing damage of every type in the game, which is really important. If you take Wild Strike, I highly recommend Wild Strike Corrode. Works really well. I really like druids because when they finish up with their spells, they can just shapeshift and wade right into damage, right into melee combat. And they're just an all-around great character, and I think druids and enchanters are the two characters I've probably played the most while we've been developing this game.
Cool.
Who here likes druids?
So,
Let's try that again.
so, do you have feathers everywhere?
It's Josie.
You know, does your tiara match your tail feathers?
We're about to find out if your viscera match your fur.
Forget I said anything. I rather value my viscera.
Apologies if the collapse of my life is slowing down your vendetta.
So this is Pallegina. I like her a lot, in part because I wrote her. That's always nice. But she is what is called a godlike in this world. Godlike are people from all races who, when they're born, they have certain physical characteristics that people believe mean that they're blessed by the gods or cursed by the gods in some cultures. And in Pallegina's case, she was born with these avian features like golden bird eyes and feathers that come out of her face and her hair. And she is believed to be associated with the goddess of birds, Helia. And she is a paladin in the game. And paladins in Pillars of Eternity do not necessarily have to be religious. They just have to be fanatically devoted toward a cause. And then in Pallegina's case, she is fanatically devoted toward her home country, which is the Valian Republics. When she was born, because of her appearance and the pain that her mother had in childbirth, she was not wanted by her father or her family in general, so she was given to a military order called the Brotherhood of Five Sons. And even though she also had a lot of trouble in that brotherhood, she firmly believes in defending her country and trying to do the best that she can for it. And her sort of conflict is that she is given orders that she thinks are not particularly in the best interest, in the long-term best interest of her country. But she values the opinions of her superiors, but at the same time she has this very strong maternal instinct for wanting to protect her homeland. In terms of gameplay, she's really fun to play because paladins have a lot of great support abilities. They have auras that radiate out from them, and they give really nice bonuses. And they also have very nice targeted individual support buffs. So they have targeted revives. They can also remove debuffs on allies for short periods of time. And of course, they have cool things like fanatical flaming swords of death that they can summon. So that's always a lot of fun as well.
Adair, how is it you Eothasians stay so optimistic? The world has not given your kind much reason to hope.
You get to a certain point and you realize you got two options. You can go mad with grief and tear out all your hair and check yourself into the sanitarium, or you can wait for better days.
Well, feathers in my case. But I understand your point.
Say what you want about Dear Woodens, but they haven't met the problem yet that they couldn't solve by killing some scapegoats.
So this is Adair. He's the fighter of the party, and he's an early companion that you find in the town of Gilded Vale. And Adair is just a simple farmer, and he is actually a worshiper of the god Eothas. And that's actually not a good thing right now in the story. And he is facing religious persecution in his village, and you stumble upon him, and he's just looking for a friend. He's also looking for answers to see why. There's some stuff in the story, I don't want to spoil it, but
Oh, come on, Adam.
no spoilers. You have to play it to find out. But he wants to join your party to find answers about his god. He's a nice guy. He's easy to get along with, and he has a kind of a dark sense of humor, so he's kind of a fun guy to hang out with too. He's also just looking for a friend, and since no one in his village likes him anymore, the player is a good friend. He's also a fighter, and I love fighters. In pretty much every D&D campaign I play in, I play as a fighter. Fighters are good defenders in the party. They're good at holding the line, and they're also good at doing damage. They're not like super bursty, but they're good at direct damage. They also have some active abilities if you want to play a more active fighter, like knockdown.
Cool.
Well, whatever happens, at least we're out of that mud hole, Gilded Vale. I grew up in Gilded Vale. Quaint. That's what I meant to call it. And we're traipsing through the wilderness when we should be resting our feet by a fire and savoring a Dira plum wine. Unfair indeed.
So, Aloth is a wood elf wizard, as I'm sure you can tell by his portrait. You meet him actually pretty early in the game. He's really early in Gilded Vale. You're kind of helping him out of a jam that he's got himself in. Pretty much a bunch of townsfolk just want to beat the crap out of him. So you intercede, you kind of help him out a little bit. And then from that point on, he kind of wants to follow you. Part of it is because he wants to fit in and kind of make sure he doesn't get stuck in these situations. He tends to put his foot in his mouth pretty often. So traveling with other people is a good thing. But he's also kind of looking for a leader. He's from a different area. It's more a refined area than the Deerwood. The Deerwood is kind of rough and rugged. Where he comes from is pretty cultured and refined. So traveling with you is a good way to fill in for like the structure that he doesn't have for being over there. One thing about Aloth is he's a little secretive. You kind of dig into his story and learn a lot of really cool stuff about him. I'm not going to get into any of that for the same reasons that Adam's not going to get any of the stuff, no story stuff. But yeah, you get to learn some really cool stuff about him later on. Like I had mentioned earlier, he's a wizard. Wizards are really good ranged damage dealers. They're the kind of people that throw blocks of ice and fireballs and lightning bolts. So they do a really good job of that. They're also pretty good at crowd control, so they have some crowd control spells. One thing that they really excel at is self-buffing, so they can really buff themselves up and just jump into the fray if you want them to. So they'll run in there with a spear and mess things up just like a fighter or anybody else. So it's pretty cool.
All right, and now it's time to play.
Yay.
technical difficulties.
Please stand by.
Sorry about that.
Yay, PAX East, yeah, woo, woo! Yay, awkward silence, yeah.
Duplicate.
This is where the game show
I
part
do.
kicks in.
I do want to keep those display settings. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that looks like it.
That's you guys.
So we're gonna show you a few areas in the game. One of them is Kleban Rulig. It's an area kind of in the middle of the game. Turn it down a little bit. Can you turn down the feed a little bit? Cool. So this is an area towards the middle of the game. It's a ruined area, so we're gonna kind of take you through it and show you off some cool stuff. After that, we'll take a look at our stronghold and kind of show you how the stronghold works and the cool little things that you can do there.
Yes. Certainly.
I don't like this party order.
We're gonna switch around the party order a little bit. Make it so
Need
Alaf
something?
doesn't run to the front of the
Oh.
party.
All right.
I shall.
Why don't you have Adair in the front?
Why don't I have Adair in front?
Yeah.
You guys always critique each other in every gameplay.
Adair doesn't need to be in front.
Play the way you want.
Thank you, Chris.
That's a
Actually,
cool little machine.
cool little Inquithin machine. Actually, you know what? No, there's no pike for him. Oh well. That's okay. I'm keeping him back there, though.
Oh,
All right, let's just head off. What's that? So here's one of our scripted interactions. It's kind of one of our storybook sequences. You can kind of choose your way through it, use your different skills and whatnot.
This is why you want to buy your skills up high.
Can't quite tell how deep the stream is.
I think you should go inside anyways.
All right.
All right, so it looks like it's pretty deep. Are you gonna go in?
Of course I am.
Okay, excellent. Let's see if you drown.
All right, so I can just continue on with the current, or I can try to grab onto the edge of the tunnel and explore while I'm underwater.
Yeah, it looks like you found something glimmering.
Yep. So in these interactive sequences, the skills and attributes of your characters are pretty important. So I need someone who has a good constitution. So we have Pallegina, who's a paladin, Adair, who's a fighter, Haravius is a druid, Aleth is a wizard, and Healbot, who is a priest.
Send a Healbot.
By the way, did we mention you can make your own secondary characters? All right, so who should I have swim down there? Healbot?
Three guesses as to what Healbot does.
Healbot is a great answer, and by great I mean not very good.
No, he actually made
Oh,
it.
holy
He made
moly!
it.
I was wrong. I didn't realize.
Yeah, he has pretty high
Yeah,
constitution.
don't be. It's a skeleton, but don't be scared. It's actually it's a skeleton that contains treasure. So
The best kind.
Healbot swims down, and we get out with a little goodie here. What did we get? What did we get?
I don't know. Why don't you check?
We got, oh, cool, all right. The Rose of Salt Hollow, nice, unique Morning Star. Let's get wacky and wild with that. How about you, buddy?
Yeah, morning stars are pretty beastly.
Yeah, what's up? All right, well,
Yes?
let's see here.
indeed.
There may be an encounter soon.
Yeah, like right there.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, okay. Healbot, what are you doing in front? All right, so I'm going to throw down an interdiction. Interdiction is pretty nice because it is a very big foe-only debuff. So he's going to throw that down. Punchinator These names are fucking great, man. Punchinator out front. Pallegina is going to turn on Zealous Endurance. Oops, head out that way. All right, Punchinator.
So I actually like to kill those giant forest lurkers first. They have a pretty bad debuff when they hit you where you get stuck into place and it can really screw things up pretty badly.
All right, so Punchinator and let's see, Pallegina, you can go there, and Adair can head on down here. And we're going to get Aloth to chuck a, and of course, Fireball. Oh, no, where are you going, buddy?
Need something?
All right, time to go beast mode.
Yeah?
Literally
Yes.
beast mode.
That's why you bring a druid to the party.
Yes.
Little jump kick for you.
You'll notice sometimes that those slimes are spitting goo at you. It's pretty bad stuff. It's corrode, the thing that Tim's loves so much.
I always kill them first. And they're gross.
Uh-oh. Pallegina needs to give some heals here too, my buddy. Oh crap, she can't get there. Stuck. All right.
Oh.
Actually, how about this? Let's try that. And heal bot, why don't you actually heal?
So Healbot's gonna throw some heals out so people don't immediately die.
Quit. It's no use. I need something stronger.
How may I help?
By casting spells, of course.
That didn't work. Need to try something else.
Oh, that was pretty effective.
So if you can't tell,
Need to try something else.
looks like Punchinator's really good at punching, but not avoiding damage.
Oh.
All right.
Ooh, what's that stuff?
Some nice crafting items.
All right, crafting items.
Always
Oh.
good. All right, let's get out of this dump. Maybe I should.
I'll see what I can
Maybe I
find.
should scout.
Uh-oh, we're gonna scout through here.
Hey, buddies, what's going on? And Haravius is like the only dude in the party who's good at scouting. So,
Yeah, so Horavius should take the front.
already being detected. That's a good sign.
Oh.
No, get out of there. No. All right.
Hi?
Time to quit screwing around. How about a big old ball of fire?
Lava will be on seek.
Well, I'll be back here, guys.
That's it.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Oh.
Yeah?
Go wreck those druids.
And I already need some help.
Hey.
And Adair should just knock this guy in his ass. Or, what's her 42?
That's it.
Bye.
So that was knockdown that obviously knocks people down and knocks them
Oh,
prone.
nice teleport.
Yes?
Let's see, what can I do? Oh, Grimoire Slam. Let's knock this lady down.
Yeah, so if people get close to a wizard, you can use Grimoire Slam.
Yes, I did just hit her with a book. And it worked.
I shall.
Yeah, get out of here, buddy. Had enough of you.
Good job.
Oh, insects plaguing me. Oh, here we go.
They didn't loot.
Oh,
That's it.
This guy's about to get smashed.
yeah, maybe you should have taken off when you had the chance,
Oh.
buddy.
I shall.
Time for another
Yes.
rolling flame, why not? Ooh, a little too close. For comfort.
Yeah, Rolling Flame's pretty good for clearing out a hallway.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a troll. Trolls are usually pretty bad because they have some regen, so it's usually good to take them out pretty quickly.
Oh, it's bouncing back. Oh, whew. Rolling flames can bounce. By the way.
Yes?
Hey, dude, what's up?
Quit.
Sleepy. Sleepy druid.
Indeed.
Cool. Yeah. Just there. More oozes.
It's no use. I need something stronger.
Yeah, these guys spin corrosive acid.
Yeah, by themselves, you can
By
usually take
themselves,
them out
they're
pretty
pretty
easily.
easy. Yeah.
Trap.
Bad news.
So, traps are pretty nasty. It's good to scout and have someone who can remove traps. You notice that after a trap goes off, everyone takes a ton of damage, but they get all their endurance back. But the bar on the left side of the portrait is their long-term damage, and the monk has now gotten
Yes.
her face punched in a few too many times, so we're going to have to rest. Soothing campfire.
And it looks just like the area we're in.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Let's have Haravius actually.
Need something? I'll
scout.
stay out of sight.
Can you find a trap?
I don't know. We're about to find out.
He's good at scouting, but he doesn't have a good
Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Find something.
Oops.
Well,
Need something?
that's one way to find it, I guess. All right. Take it easy, Haravius. Haravius is good at sneaking, not at finding things.
Ooh, another troll.
Spot
Oh,
on.
2 trolls. 2 trolls and something else. That was a little bit too early of an attack.
That's a pretty macho pool.
I understand.
Hey.
Tell me.
All right, then.
Ah,
Oh, that's a really cool ability.
Yeah, Flames of Devotion is a base paladin ability that you can use once per fight, and you can also modify it based on your paladin order, so it can...
I just have Radius scout ahead.
Yep, and I'll have Haravius
Yeah?
scout for a way out.
I'll stay out of sight.
Hopefully there's no more traps.
Hey, his way out.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
You can thank Adam Brennicky for that.
You're welcome.
And here's another nice little scripted interaction. This is actually a back way into this dungeon, so you can try to jump across the chasm to get inside. There's another way in, but this is a little bit easier of a way to get in. And Healbot did not quite make it that time. Healbot twisted his ankle, so there is an athletic skill, and Healbot doesn't have any of it, so now he has a twisted ankle.
Yeah, but you'll notice his name is not JumpBot.
And that will last until the next time you rest. So sometimes in the scripted interactions, you have these certain events that you go through, and if your character doesn't quite have the skills, they don't get killed or anything, but they get a long-term injury that goes away after you rest.
Cool, why don't we take a look at the stronghold?
I will.
Excellent.
Okay, while he loads the stronghold, let me talk a little about that. You get the stronghold about halfway through the game, maybe a little earlier. You get it in a really bad state of repair. Your 2 big goals with the stronghold is to build up the prestige and the security of the stronghold. The prestige is how famous it is. The more famous you get, the better events you will get. But you also risk getting attacked, and that's what security is for. The higher security you have, the better defended you are against attacks.
I'm going to actually clear the fog of war, but I need to enable cheat codes to do that. So here we go. I need some help here. I roll. What do I roll? You're goddamn right I do.
20s.
So here's your stronghold.
One thing to note is this is a stronghold with almost no upgrades. That's why it looks pretty trash
Yeah, this
right
is your
now.
dump hold.
This is before you make it awesome.
Yeah, and there are lots of different buildings that you can upgrade to either increase your, actually, instead of just looking at them that way, you can actually upgrade all these different buildings. Actually, Tim, why don't you give us a rundown of all these buildings?
Yeah, you've got a bunch of upgrades you can buy. You can only be upgrading one at a time, so you're limited in how quickly you can build them. Some of the upgrades will be prerequisites for other upgrades. Some of the upgrades are prerequisites for events or capabilities you have in the game. For example, you can't take anybody prisoner until you build a dungeon. Once you build the dungeon, though, you will have opportunities to take different NPCs prisoner, and then they disappear from the world where you have to fight them, and then they surrender. They will appear in your dungeon where you can interrogate them, and one of the events that can happen is people can come and beg for their release, and they will trade you money and magic items for those people who are in your dungeon. You can also have lots of different events. Let's take a look at some of the events that are happening here. At the very bottom, we have Odenya Fairgist, not related to Fergus Urquhart.
Sure.
She's a prestigious visitor, meaning she gives you bonuses to both your security and your prestige. She's right there, +5 to both. However, you pay her to stay at the keep, and she will stay for, I think, 9 days, as long as you pay her 1,000 copper. Azuro is a rare merchant. Every time he comes, he brings a different item. He will never bring the same item twice, so if you want to buy that item, you have 1 day to decide whether you want it or to try to get enough money. In this case, he's carrying a really good shield, and you may want to consider, buying the shield, and if you don't, it's gone from the game. Gaff the Drunkard, Gaffel the Drunkard, he's an example of a bad visitor. He comes and stays for 4 days, and while he's there, he lowers the prestige of your castle. You have 2 choices. You can pay him off, you can pay him 75 copper and or leave, or if you have some companion that you're currently storing at the stronghold, because you can only have 5 companions. If you have any extra that you're storing at the stronghold, you can have them go off and escort him really far away from the castle, from your stronghold, so he never comes back. But that means that companion won't be available for 4 days while he's escorting Gaffal away. And the reason you want companions there is because we have an attack coming. And this is an attack that your security forces have told you there's trolls and ogres that are marching on the castle. If you want to, you can auto-resolve it, meaning the fight will just automatically resolve and you don't have to go back to the stronghold. However, when that happens, first you have to build barracks, you have to have hirelings who can do it. But when that happens, you potentially risk losing some of your upgrades. They get destroyed in the attack. Your alternative is to go back to the stronghold and do a manual resolve. And then, of course, you risk yourself dying or your companions dying.
Of course.
Certainly.
Oh, one cool thing is the Warden Lodge. You can build that up. What it does is it allows you to do these cool bounties. So I think Josh is going to go do one of those now.
Yep, the Warden Lodge is also one of the buildings that gives you a resting bonus. So inns in the game, when you rest at them, you can get a cheap room if you want that doesn't give you any bonuses. But if you want to, you can sleep at one of the nicer rooms and it costs more money, but you get a long-term bonus that lasts over several rests. When you upgrade your house, you also get the option to have those bonuses transferred to your home by doing certain upgrades. So that way you can get all these different bonuses and pick which one you want just by resting at your stronghold.
How do you do?
So the bounties are pretty darn tough. The bounties appear after you hit a certain level and you have the Warden Lodge, and they're among the toughest fights in the game. They have big mixes of different types of characters, and especially on the hard difficulty, they're, I would say, sometimes infuriatingly challenging. We're just going to do one on normal today. Yeah, here we go. So the first batch of these, I'm going to be doing the War Chief, who's this War Chief Iklok. And he's a Zorip. Zorip are kind of koboldy-like guys. They worship dragons, and they're pretty nasty. You encounter them at various points throughout the story. So now that I have this quest, I'm going to go and murder this dude.
So we have to travel to Valewood, which is an earlier area in the game.
Ooh, there it is.
Oh, Zero left the stronghold, so I can't get that item anymore.
There goes that shield. I would send Haravius out first.
Okay.
Ready. Follow me. Ready.
And maybe we can slow down.
Keeping an eye out.
Wolf, what are you
That's
doing out
a
here?
wolf.
Spot on.
Well,
That's right, little baby wolf.
I just met a 7th level party.
Yeah, will do.
Oh?
Understood. Need something?
I understand.
Will do.
Hey, buddy. Oh, no, 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 no.
Yes.
A little too close.
Yes.
Not that good at sneaking.
You would have done awesome in a solo fight.
Ready.
All right, let me kind of spread these guys out a little bit.
Hey, all right then.
Oh?
I'm ready.
All right then.
Good.
I shall.
And let's start this in a classic
How may I help?
murdering way. With a bunch of magic missiles to the face.
Lava.
Some good buffs right there.
Ready.
And let's start a storm.
All right, this spell is really crazy, and it just has lightning bolts that shoot down from the heavens, like throughout pretty much the entire fight. It's pretty rad.
You can handle that.
No use. I need something stronger. Quay?
Aye?
Fireball.
Yeah, that'll work.
I'm ready.
Need something?
Oh, there's a lot of dudes here.
Where's the war chief at?
The war chief is right there. Okay, well,
Yeah.
oops. How about some Stag's Horn, which is a nice murdering spell.
Oh?
And my monk has a,
Doing the job.
It's no use.
hey bud, would you like it to smack in the face?
I need something.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hey, what's up? What's up, buddy? Bam!
Yeah. Yes?
Consider it dead. Yeah.
Let's go beast mode.
Ah, that didn't work. Need to try something else. Will do.
Well, yeah, try being super huge. That works.
Need something?
All right, and we got our bounty.
Understood.
Actually, no, we don't have our bounty, sorry.
Go
Where's
pick
that
up his
dude?
head.
Yeah, we got it. Oh, that's right, I knocked him all the way over here. So, we got the war chief's head, and an ivory worm figurine, which is really nice. So, every time you kill a bounty, you take back some token, usually a head, to collect a reward. But I also got this, oh, where'd that go? Oh, in my stash. So the ivory worm figurine is pretty nice because it's like a figurine of wondrous power, and it can summon worms. And worms are like little teeny dragons that breathe fire. So each one of the bounties gives you a nice monetary reward, and it usually gives you a unique item as well. So they're pretty darn cool. And that is it for our presentation.
We do have one disclaimer to make, is that Gaffel the drunkard is really not based on a real person, but he is in us all a little bit. So we do have one thing we want to do for you guys before we get to the Q&A, is we want to bring up our friends at Paradox who have something special for all of you. So this is David Martinez from Paradox Interactive.
Hi, how's everyone doing? Awesome. Doing good, thanks for asking. So thanks so much for coming out to the panel today. We have been so privileged to work with these guys to help bring out Pillars of Eternity, doing all the marketing type stuff while they do all the fun stuff, making this game for you. But we wanted to give you all a little something for showing up here today and taking time out of your day to enjoy the panel. And so now I finally get to do what I've always wanted to do in life, and that's be Oprah. Please look under your seats.
The front edge of your seat, specifically.
Towards the very front.
Or possibly on the ground if you fell.
Okay. So, inside that box there, we have a little business card holder thingy for you, and that's all fine and dandy, and you can put whatever you want in there besides business cards. But inside that is this very special card.
The golden ticket.
And for a select handful of you, there's another card in there as well. But let me explain what the first one is. So inside there is an upgrade key for Steam. So if you've already purchased this game and you have the Hero Edition there, you now have the Champion Edition. And that's just thanks guys for coming out. If you already if you already have the Hero Edition, cool. Now you have the Champion Edition. You get all that stuff up there. If you already have the Champion Edition, then I guess you're going to be a really good friend to somebody. But some of you may have opened up that box and actually found my business card. Could you raise your hands? Could you come up here? And one of you may have accidentally found an entire thing full of my business cards and I accidentally packed that. You could also come up if that is actually in there somewhere. Seriously, I was pretty, we had a really busy morning the other day, that's what I'm going to say. I think there should be a few more of you. Okay. Cool. So I've asked you and embarrassed you up here today, just to let you know that once you are done, just scoot off to the side over here, and we'll make sure that we hook you up with the Royal Edition at no charge. So that is yours. Again, if you pre-ordered already or you backed it, then you can just keep that one for yourself and give your friend the other one. And that's it. Thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciate it.
So we're not done. So if you guys can step to the left here. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the floor. We've got mics both in the front and on both sides. And if you guys want to ask the dev team questions, we will take the rest of the time to answer your questions about the game. We'll start here and we'll alternate back and forth.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong, but does this game have a character written by Patrick Rothfuss?
No. No, that's actually Torment Tides of Numenera. Although you're going to love that character, so.
Okay.
To the right.
During the demonstration, it seemed like combat rounds were going by pretty quickly, and every character had a lot of active abilities to choose from. Is there AI taking control of the characters that you don't give explicit commands to, and how robust is that AI?
So, one thing I would say is that there is a slow mode that I was not using. So there's actually a mode in combat that you can toggle that just automatically slows the game down to 2/3 speed. It makes it much, much more manageable. Also, we built all these characters specifically to have a lot of active abilities to show them off. You can build characters to be much more passive. We currently do not have a lot of AI for the companions. It's something that we really want to work on in a patch or expansion.
Thank you.
Over here.
One of my favorite things in games like Planescape Torment and Sith Lords, Knights of the Old Republic, was the integration of gameplay and storytelling, like how the player character never dies and that's the big main thrust of the plot, or you have this huge amount of influence over your companions and over the course of the story you find out why. And I was wondering if there was any similar elements in this game.
Let's see if I can answer that without being too spoilery. The story in Pillars of Eternity starts out with your character being sort of a victim of circumstance, and investigating a problem that is specific to your character. And as you go along, you find out that you are intertwined with the lives of other characters in the world, and you're sort of connected to them in a larger story that affects the greater world. That's very, very vague, but we're trying to not be super spoilery with it. I don't know if that's a very good answer.
Actually, so to add on to that, so I have to confess, so both in Planescape Torment and the Sith Lords, the reason we had that mechanic was, or that narrative explanation, was try to explain why these disparate group of individuals would be drawn to you. And the way that we had that sort of like emotional gravity that actually drew them to you was actually to explain why so many different types of companions would be with you, and then we just made a narrative explanation for it. We thought doing it a third time would get a little tiresome, so we have a different mechanic in Pillars of Eternity where they just actually just kind of like you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks.
To the right.
Greetings. I am a YouTube creator, and I absolutely love the look of this game. I want to know what your guys' thoughts on the YouTube and the Twitch culture is, and if you're going to be allowing Pillars of Eternity content to be made by creators like me.
Mr. DeFreeze.
Sure. I can't really speak for the company, but I mean, I think it's great. Anytime anyone streams our game and does anything on Twitch or YouTube, I think it's been great the whole time that we've had our backer beta up. We've had a lot of people just doing streams of their own playtests, showing bugs, showing things that they enjoy from the game. So I always think that stuff is really great, personally.
Yeah, I used to, before I was at Obsidian, I was at Machinima. You know, we're RPG guys, so it's always awesome to see YouTubers and streamers that are fans of what we do in games like this. So thank you, and keep doing it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We know you. What are you doing in line?
Sorry, so everyone, in case you weren't aware, Liam actually worked with us.
Yeah, he's a friend of ours.
God. Is Pumpkin still in the game?
Yes.
Pumpkin is still in the game, yes.
Pumpkin is a very special friend that you can find, and yes, still in the game.
Sweet. So you should all keep an eye out for Pumpkin the Quag.
Yes, look out for Pumpkin. Be your special friend.
To the right.
So one of the biggest and I would have to say best experiences about the Baldur's Gate saga was that I think every year now I go back and I just download like 1 million mods for it and have a totally new experience on it. Do you guys plan to have heavy support for modding and additional content that actual players can create for the game?
Adam can probably answer that pretty well.
Me? Yes. So we already have a lot of mods that people made for the backer beta. I know there's a mod called like the IE mod. There's a lot of mods for making custom user interfaces. Now that's not custom content per se, but we are looking into it, and it'll probably be post-release where we work with the community and try to figure out the best way of getting modders and people that want to make custom levels, the tools that they need. Making custom backgrounds is very, very difficult. It's very hard even for the dev team to make custom backgrounds. So that'll be an ongoing process with the community to figure out how how you guys can make custom backgrounds.
Are you a modder, sir?
I am, and I'm a game designer, so it's something very close to my heart.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Excellent.
This may not be a answer that you all can agree on, so there may be...
No question usually is.
Okay. So, what game would you suggest to a person who's new to the genre, a novice?
Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah, I think we can all agree on that one.
I don't know. I guess I would probably say that I think BG2 would probably be the best introduction, I would say, because you make your one character and you can go through it. You're on the mid-levels. I think low-level D&D, especially 2nd edition D&D, can be extremely punishing. BG2 also has companions, which people really enjoy. So, and it's a huge game. It's so big. So yeah, I would recommend that. And now the Enhanced Edition is out for it, so you can play that.
Everyone else agrees on Pillars of Eternity?
Oh, yeah. Or any other game you can find at obsidian.net.
Thank you.
Next question over here to the right.
So it's very clear to everyone in the room that you guys have poured a lot of heart and energy and creativity into making this, and that was the hook from the Kickstarter on. And I wanted to say thank you for creating this and putting yourselves into this. It's a phenomenal thing. So from the time the Kickstarter dropped to the time that you're here now, what sort of sources have you guys drawn on for creativity to keep that thrust forward, either individually, as a team, digitally, and analog in the real world? What have you done to feed yourselves so you can pour more into this? And now that you've got a badge of honor, a successful game that was Kickstarted and is phenomenal, and you had such a backing for, would you do it again?
Well, I will say, speaking for myself, I draw a lot of inspiration from the tabletop sessions that we play. So we tried to play a bunch of 3.5, a bunch of Pathfinder, even other games like Ars Magica, Burning Wheel, just playing a lot of those games because the Infinity Engine games were trying to capture a lot of the spirit of the tabletop experience. I think going back to them was very instrumental. Also looking at other role-playing games whenever we can. Obviously, Divinity, Original Sin, and Wasteland 2 were two very successful Kickstarter games that had a lot of cool stuff in them. Not all applicable to Pillars of Eternity, but they're really cool to look at just for contrast. I actually went to school for history, so I like to look at I just like to look at stuff that happened in history as inspiration for how cultures come together and develop and how languages develop and stuff like that, but that's just me personally. As for kickstarting it, yeah, so I would say one thing though is that it's not successful until it comes out and everybody likes it. I'm glad you're so enthusiastic, but we still have a ways to go. But yeah, I think it would be great to kickstart the right project in the future, personally.
Thank you.
All right, next question.
Hey, in the older Infinity Engine games, Baldur's Gate 2, alignment and the companions was a big deal. Minsk and Ed would come to blows, Kelter and Draconia. Is party politics a big part of this game? Is it something that matters, or can you really just take whoever you want?
You have a lot of freedom in whom you can take with you. They will sort of banter and bicker with each other, but they're not sort of diametrically opposed to each other and aligned with each other in such a way that you can't have people together. They won't start fights with each other and literally try to kill each other.
Hi, I was wondering how many companions you can have and how varied their abilities can be. So for example, could there be a necromancer as a companion?
I don't even know if there is a cap on the number of companions.
No, there is. So
is there?
There is. So there are 8 companions that we designed for the game, and then there are you can make
16.
What's
16?
that?
16 total.
Well, hold on. So there are 8 companions that we wrote for the game, and then you can make 8 adventurers of your own. So if you want to make an Icewind Dale style party, you can do that. Any of the companions that we wrote, if you don't like one of them or if you don't like any of them, you don't have to take them with you. You can hire adventurers if you want to. And yeah, there's a limit of up to 8 of them. And one of the things that the Stronghold can do is allow you to bank your companions when they're not in the party and have them do other stuff to gain experience and to get items and reputation for the party. But yeah, you can have pretty varied characters. We wanted to make sure that you could build characters in such a way that you can have 2 fighters in a party that are pretty different in focus, 2 wizards that are different in focus, 2 rogues. Or if some people make gimmick parties, they have parties full of wizards or rogues or paladins or dwarves or whatever the heck they want. So that sort of flexibility is something we really wanted to support.
If you wanted to make your own heal bot, for example, you could, or like the puncher, or, yeah, so.
Thank you.
Next question. Cool. All right, do we have any more before we wrap this up? Going once, going twice. Thank you for coming, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
And thanks for supporting our game.
We've got a question right here.
One more.
You have a question? All right. All right.
This better be the best question in the universe, sir.
Everybody quiet.
So, when it comes to Kickstarters, I'm kind of like fire and forget. So I gave you guys money, and I haven't looked at it at all until today. So it's a lot different. Since the beginning, what is the thing that's probably changed the most, do you think?
Good question. What would you say, Adam?
Oh, there's a lot.
Our love for you has increased considerably. Come on, guys.
I would say there are a few things, there are a few areas that we could look at and say they've changed a lot. If you look at our earlier levels, the art has improved a great deal. A lot of the artists had not built levels like this before, or not in a long time, so we had to learn how to do that again. The levels that they made, in a lot of cases we went back and redid our early levels, but the level of quality just went way, way up. So some of the environments you saw today are really nice, but there are even more beautiful ones in the game. Also, I think that there's been a lot of iteration on our class design and just interface mechanics overall. That was one place where the backer beta was extremely valuable for us because people gave a lot of feedback. People have very specific tastes when it comes to UI and how classes should advance and feel and things like that. So those have changed quite a bit over the course of development.
Making a game is very organic, so it just changes over time, just based on how things go and how certain things feel, and it kind of develops over the course of the full 2.5 years. It's hard to pinpoint one particular thing in my mind.
All right, thanks.
So I guess one last thing is that we've got a few extra minutes in the dev team will be in the room next door. If anyone has any additional questions or stuff they want signed, we're happy to hang out and meet with folks. So thanks again for coming. Thanks for supporting our game.